Gentlemen, we're here to present to you the ARC Indianapolis 250 as a second job for me commentating this one. I didn't think I'd be commentating this, but anyway, yeah, we on the same week as the actual Indy 500, we have the Indianapolis 250, rather. Qualifying was yesterday, and of that session, as we see, terrible crash in this little warm-up session as we're trying to make sure everything is working properly. So you have this little 5-minute warm-up. In that qualifying session, Hunter Smith ran the pull lap, so there will be a 2-lap formation sequence to set the grid according to that order. And warm-up session is about to end once all these yahoos finish their lap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how much we get from the session, but in qualifying, they were split by about, I would say, 4/10. And everyone was under a 39-second lap time, so pretty fast times for our qualifiers.
I totally forgot to introduce my co-commentator. That's my bad. That is Tyler Crabtree. He's one of the NASCAR drivers usually, but he's just starting to dip his toes into the water of Project Cars series. But he did not qualify, so he is instead commentating with me.
Yeah, I'm going to be a second commentator here. Times, like I said, were pretty close. The ones at the front were very clean, low 6s, and then I think the ones at the back were high 8s or high 9s.
Practice is over. As mentioned, there will be 2 laps for the basically formation lap, since the game's not going to make the correct grid and all that stuff. So, well, I'll go over the starting grid as it forms, because I don't actually remember what it is. So, yeah, that's not it. It's a very awkward 16th car on the tail there.
Okay, here, I'll be able to get it here in a second. We do know our pole sitter is Hunter Smith with I think it was a 6.34. Or 6.31, my apologies. And then second would be AJ with a 6.8, Bryce with a 7.2, Donald with a 7.38, and then Braden with a 7.4, Jake with a 7.68, and then Seth with a 7.72.
Seth Rawls could not attend this race, so Logan Poole.
He will be. Yes, Logan is going to be his replacement here. He was the first qualifier out that could show up tonight, and he ended up being the replacement. Then behind Logan will be Jamie, and then Connor Hannick, Matthew Stoss, Travis Van Usendorp, Liam O'Neill, you said Kobe Cheney, Fidel Fabian, Kyler Boggs, and then Sean Cosley rounds out your 16 that are able to race tonight. Now, like I said, the pole time was a 6.31, and then the back time was a 9.81.
So 3.5 tenths separate the cars that qualified, minus Logan, who only got in because of Seth being the reserve thing.
And then Logan was about a 10th off of the time. So what we see here is that that's just a qualifying run on low fuel, so it'll be a lot, I would imagine, smaller spread than what we'll see in the race. Now, do you have any predictions? Oh, good.
I think the lap spread would actually be greater in the actual race pace, because...
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, less spread would mean like they'd be within a 10th of a second from first to last. I'm just like, that's just physically not...
I meant like the qualifying would be less spread than what we'd see in the race. So do you have any predictions on who you like in this race, on who you think can have a chance to take it?
I mean, the smart money and pretty much anything on Project Cars has to be on AJ Kunickle, considering he's been on a tear. This is not the actual race start, obviously.
We'll do 2 laps to get up to speed and get in the right order, and then we'll start with our 100 laps.
Yeah, otherwise it would be the Indy 255, I guess, but not really. But yeah, so... If it's not going for like the obvious choice with Kunickle, I want to say that the other pick that I would put on would probably be sort of my surprise winner could be Kyler Boggs. He might not have qualified terribly well, but he also did not have the appropriate setup in that session. So
Oh, there's contact. How do you how do you do that? What is happening? We might have to do a reset or something.
We are clearly doing that.
So, did it kick 6 people out?
That's not kicking. That's leaving.
Well, I imagine they just left because of that collision. Then we might want to get this.
I don't know. It's also very possible they messed up a rule. I'm gonna leave the stream running because it's just easier that way.
Now, since we is there a way I could switch drivers like in here? Like
why would you?
Looking at? Or is it? Or do I see what you're looking at?
You will see what I'm looking at, because that's how the race director works. It's sort of like the broadcast teams in F1 races.
Okay.
Like,
well, I didn't know if it just like was on whatever the game wanted me to be on, so that's better. Okay, let's just wait on the invite from AJ then. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I guess it gives us some more time to talk about how qualifying went. I think there was a total of like 24, 25 qualifiers, so it knocked 8 or 9 out. And I would say for the most part, the people that mostly had the pace to get in got in, but a few probably missed out, like Emmanuel. He has some pretty good pace, and then he was about 5/10 off, so he just didn't have it for the oval. Or the Sawyer, I don't know.
so here we are back in the lobby. It's like we just went back in time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, we did. We rewinded. I imagine we won't have the warm-up time now.
Yeah, no, it's gone.
We'll probably just go into it, yeah. Yeah, I wonder what that was about, but it's all good.
Yep, we don't really have much to say about qualifying because it wasn't like a typical qualifying session from any other ARC series. It was single car runs, so, and I wasn't there to see any of them. I don't think Crabtree was either, so.
I was there to see the main one. That's the one I was doing the stuff in. It was pretty interesting. For the most part, I believe that the people you would expect to be up there are up there, except for, like I said, Emmanuel, who's done pretty good at IndyCar. He just had a really bad lap. Was new to the setup and all that. But, like I said, from everyone that I would expect got in. Like I said, except for that big exception. Times were pretty close. It was pretty interesting all the way down to the end when it came to qualifying. And then that was about it.
Well, Bryce Hederman seems to be having some problems with his internet. I don't remember Hederman qualifying though, but I guess I'm just.
Hederman ended up getting P3 with like a 7.4. He's gonna start outside, I would assume. For sure outside.
Okay, so then I'm just lacking intelligence, I guess.
It's all good.
Lacks critical information. Yeah, I can't seem to locate the actual results, so. Trying to like actually find that, but it's having to screw up quite a bit to find it. Oh, there they are.
Okay, I'm back. Do we have everyone?
Yeah, I think we're like. It's literally, unless I guess we just have to assume that collision caused it, because otherwise I have no idea why that reset happened.
Well, what happened is I believe that was a blue car. It's probably Travis, if I'd have to assume, and just like stopped on the exit of one of the middle corners, like either 1 or 3, and then just he got ran into the backup because he stopped on the track. Which that would either be Travis or Connor, but I would assume that if there was a collision that severe, because it was pretty fast, that'd probably be enough to have to start a new lobby. But this might be the last one though. Like if we have a problem like that again, we might just just keep going with it.
I hope so, because I don't know if I can sit here in awkwardness for the next like.
Yeah, we can't try to entertain the crowd for another 2 minutes. We're just sitting here in this lobby.
We're not like the actual motorsports broadcast teams that have all these random stats to read through. Like, I don't know who finished where in the last race. I wasn't there.
I think we need to start doing that.
No, the average final caution in the Indy 250 is on lap 93 or whatever in the heck the NASCAR teams do for their broadcasts when there's nothing happening.
That's not good. Apparently, we're having issues with lobby communication, which is I would assume that they just can't talk to each other at the moment. We'll see if that gets fixed, but they might just have to go into parties instead of being in like the lobby. Apparently people have to manually unmute. But okay, so we're good here. We should be fine. We don't have that warm-up lobby anymore, so we'll just get straight to the formation laps, basically.
And Liam O'Neill has apparently retired?
Yeah, so he's not in here. He was qualified about 12th. So that's a shame that he makes it to the big race and then isn't able to race in it. There's another person gone too.
AJ just retired. They're resetting again.
Oh man, they're putting so much pressure on us. Okay, yeah, so they're doing it one more time.
I really regret not restarting. I really regret not like ending and restarting the broadcast. This is.
Well, you have some time to do it when we get this thing set up if you want to. So this is going to be the last reset. So I mean, if you want to do that, we can delete it.
I mean, that's as far as we know. We could be here resetting like 9 different times.
I believe so, but like we could. But I mean, if you just want to reset it, and then when this becomes a VOD or something, we could just delete it. I think the problem there, I don't know.
Yeah, start making comments and such. Like, give us time to. Oh no, we are absolutely not doing a good job of stalling, Jamie. It is very difficult to do when we have nothing to look at.
We're trying. I think we need to start making weird random stats for these things.
At this point, we gotta like start like doing like stand-up comedy or something.
Oh no! Oh no!
What's the deal with airline food anyway? Like, my gosh.
Oh. Man. No, I think we need to get like some random stat keeper to just say something if someone has a streak of a certain finish, or if someone has like a same time back to back or something. Something stupid.
No, the only things that I do know is that yes, English.
We get a new lobby.
Yeah, we're in a new one now. The only thing that I know for sure, based on our tweet / Instagram / Facebook post from earlier today, is that AJ's looking to go 2 in a row. Hunter Smith, our pole sitter, almost won the last one, but I think crashed very late in the race. If I remember right, I think I was also.
From what I've heard of it, the only thing I've gotten besides that is from the chat. That's Mr. We're in an ARC IndyCar race, so this would be his first ARC IndyCar start.
Well, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying, because I think he's like middle of the pack, too.
Well, just the idea that somebody's debut is the Indy 250 is just like, talk about throwing yourself into the fire.
Some pressure. Well, I mean, yeah. I think there were a lot of qualifiers who were able to make their debut here. And then a few with debuts in the sport. Or in this league. But like we've been over in our little pre-race show during warm-up, pretty good group of guys here on time. Let's hope they are that good at being clean racers.
One thing that I've been also made aware of as far as a setup standpoint goes is a lot of drivers struggling to find the balance on the radiator opening. Drivers
Yeah.
in various tests had been having problems with overheating their car, and so
And
it'll be
engine
interesting.
damage as a result.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find or figure out who can find the balance of engine temperature and, by extension, radiator opening to keep those temperatures in the right area at 230 some miles an hour.
I think we'll be able to notice if someone has enough engine damage to be severely performance impacting.
As
But I
they-
think for the most part,
I think I know from what I was told, the kind of green area for temperature on the engine is between 190 and 199 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but if it's over
If you
200
just
degrees
place-
Fahrenheit, that is going to be a problem.
I would assume that would be similar to like 90 Celsius or something like that. But or maybe like 95. But yeah, just a safe thing is just keep it under 200. Don't try to risk it. I wouldn't be too aggressive with your radiator stuff at the moment, because you want to make it to the end of the race first, and then hope for some speed later.
Current objective is survive.
Which apparently has been hard to do since we've been wrecking under the formation lap.
Well, I mean, golden rule of open-wheeled cars is they're actually easier to drive the faster you're going, so...
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's Formula 1, Indycar, heck, even if it's like Formula Juniors, it doesn't matter if you're going faster, it's safer. If you're going slower, the vehicle does not have dynamic or aerodynamic grip, so therefore it likes to die.
Yeah, let's just hope we make it to the start, then whatever happens, happens from there.
Yeah, really.
Now,
This is where we'd probably plug our advertisers, but we don't have any.
if we had any, we'll hope to get some so we can plug them at this point in the race. And the final stint of the race as well.
Before we get to the next part of this Indy 250, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. Ah, that'd be ridiculous.
And we'd probably get a ridiculous amount of money from that too.
Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications.
No, but seriously, if you are enjoying any of the streams that you stop by and watch, just tune into the channel some more, get some more things like the videos if you really enjoy them, and then subscribe if you really, really enjoy our content.
We'll have the warm-up session.
So that means more stalling for us, Joy.
Great! My favorite.
I believe that's just to make sure the lobby's fine and everybody can have their mics unmuted and stuff like that. We can just go on board with some people that are watching and see if they're actually trying to run some laps, maybe. They're probably trying with a higher fuel load. Like we went on board here with Travis, who's at 70 liters and in the grass. But I would imagine people are just trying to see what their cars feel like on high fuel.
So unlike
Just
in the
getting
F1 broadcast, I cannot take away the UI completely. The most I can do is I can take away the little bit on the top where it says like the player's name and the gaps, but I can't take away the standings or the little overlay on the bottom for looking at the different camera views and such.
Right. Yeah, oh, so you have that on your screen as the little camera stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the UI is a little weird in this game. But it's all good. On board with Stern here, who I think qualified near middle of the pack, probably second row maybe, like outside second row.
I don't know, I'd have to find the results again.
I can send them to you if you would like. But you notice how much slower they're going in qualifying pace because they were pretty easily able to max out up to like lower 250s. Or not 250s, 240s with the car. But here it's just a little bit more sluggish, a little bit slower around the track.
I mean, they're hitting 240s now, but that's just because we're on board with Donald Stern, who got a huge slipstream off of that car in front, and then slapped the wall. Plus, apparently lagging because his car is jumping back and forth.
Okay, I'll send this to Messenger so you can have the starting order if you want to read through it.
I mean, yeah, this session does matter because, I mean, a little bit, because if you can prove that you're actually fast on a full fuel load, then that, you know, spells to the competition as much as it does to me that, you know, it doesn't matter if you've got 7 liters or 77 liters of fuel, your car still handles fine.
Yeah, but some of our big hitters, or mostly two of them, and AJ and Hannick, and haven't really set laps yet. And I think those would be one of the top people at the moment. But right now we do have Scarborough, who is qualifying near the back. So, I mean, that's a pretty solid lap from him. Donald Stern, our pole sitter, Funner Smith, and then Travis in P4.
So this is Scarborough? This is Bryce Hitterman we have the camera on, not Scarborough.
I was looking at the leaderboard of the timing sheets. He ran a 39.58, and he is the top person in this session.
That's not him, that's still Hitterman.
Is it? Oh, Lord.
Scarborough is in 7th. And he's not even on the track. Well, now he's about to be on the track.
Yeah, I'll have to get used to the thing. Okay, so then Bryce has some really good pace. He is starting P3, first row outside. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good lap from Hunter.
You'd say third, first row outside.
I was saying like third place is where he's starting.
And then you said first row outside, and I'm like, no?
Hold on.
Boy, oh boy, this is gonna be a process, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it already has been a process, but it's not gonna get much better. This is the, agonizing wait for the end of this warm-up session. And, pray that this time we actually get the race to, you know, start. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What in the world was that? Now, Hunter Smith has now established his spot on the top of the leaderboards anyway, so...
He has indeed.
Here we see Travis crashing.
Travis.
Nice windshield you got, or windscreen you got there, Scarborough. May want to call Safe Light on that one. Safe Light repair, Safe Light replace, not sponsored. Can you tell we're going a bit stir crazy in here, folks?
We're waiting to get some racing action. We're just too excited.
Alright, the session is mercifully at an end. Now, if, you know, we can actually begin the race that we all came here to watch, that would be fantastic, SMS. But, you know, I mean... You know, don't strain yourself too hard, game. Like, you know, take your time. Insert Jeopardy theme here. Boy, oh boy.
You gotta get really excited for this thing. So, I think for We do have the pulse that are accurate.
The
But
game
the
got
rest
one
of the
thing
field is
right.
not.
Good guess, P-Cars.
Let's see how good we are at lining up.
Not holding out too much hope for that, if I'm honest.
Please, no one stop on track and cause a wreck. Now, I did send you the starting order if you want to run through it a little bit.
Yeah, now I did. Now I'm able to just look at it instead of scrolling up through the mess of comments in the ARC Discord.
That is accurate, except, like we said, Seth isn't in the race, and Logan's replacing, and that's it. So this is our first of the 2 warm-up laps.
Just in case we really can't figure it out. Well, we've got the front row. No, we haven't. Bryce Etterman's nowhere near the front row. This is the really thing that's awkward to... This is the really awkward part to stall over, too, because there's, like, on-screen stimulation of, like, oh, look at this thing that is happening, but the thing that's happening is kind of trivial and obligatory because it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so Bryce is there, so that your front row is together.
Looks like they might have the second row almost set up as well. Extreme close-up. Thank you, cameraman.
They do. The second row is together now. Of Donald Stern, Braden Sisko, and Jake Scarborough. Now, I believe they almost have the third row set up. Except for Jamie's supposed to be there, and he's in 15th. But we do have, I believe, one more lap.
And he is missing his front wings, somehow.
How do we...
Not quite sure how you have managed this.
I wonder if he can't get back if he just goes to the back. Not too sure about that. He should have like a whole lap, so he should be fine. Now, is there anyone else with the wing damage, like this person up in front?
If the camera wants to look at him, it appears that Matthew Stott's also gone ahead.
Yeah, he's going into the pits. I don't see any damage,
Hey,
but there could
do I.
There could be some sort of damage or something with engine or...
It might be like... It may also just be desynchronized.
Yeah, maybe something like that. So those are... I'm pretty sure they're like middle of the pack starters. Yeah, Jamie is going to be starting P8, and then Stott's P10. So there'll have to be some roommates for them to get back on track. And in their right spots. Now, besides that, we've got the grid set pretty well. People aren't too stupid.
It's a bit harsh.
Which is a... I don't know how harsh that is. Well, to be fair, on our first attempt, we had people, like, I imagine, wreck out before the race started. Which really shows the prestige of Auto Racing Connected. But hopefully y'all enjoyed. This is the second lap, so once we get back here, we'll get going. And we've got, I guess at the start, the 2 people got damaged before the race. They're coming out of the pits now. Should be able to group up. You ready to start?
So this is the matter of can they exit the pits correctly, because that can be a challenge in these cars. The aforementioned rule of open wheel racing that it's harder to drive the slower that you're moving, so... They've managed to survive.
Slowing down before you get to the grid. Now Stotts will be slotting
P10. So inside row 4.
Okay, and then Jamie would be P8, so he'll be middle of row 3.
They don't seem to be
Interesting.
moving.
I wonder... Now, I wonder if maybe because they got damaged, they won't be starting from the... I'm not too sure.
That's kind of what it looks like is happening, even though there's clearly, like, space.
That's fine. We'll yeah.
Hmm.
So Jamie and Sansa will start from the back.
We might be going green here. I'm not entirely sure, to be perfectly honest
I'd
with you.
imagine so.
Oh,
This
we are
is
flooring it. Yep,
and
we are
we're
green
going.
for the Indianapolis 250. Automatically, like, completely spread out, pretty much single file as we reach the first corner. Could have sworn we were supposed to
Yeah,
go up the line, but here we are anyway.
No moves from what I saw.
And AJ Critical has just tagged the wall. I can't tell if he has damage or not.
It doesn't look like it.
Might also have just been lag, who knows?
Yeah, I think it might have been a lag thing. No moves made yet from what I can see.
We have a Panic and Panic is
man.
loose. Saved it.
He's taking boards though.
And he's lost his wing.
damage. Going through the grass trying to get off of the track safely. That is some debris indeed.
And whoever is like holding this camera is like a little bit slow.
Shaking too much. Oh, okay.
Hey, he's over there. There you go. Okay, we're just using chase cam. Our trackside cameras are a little bit delayed, to say the least.
So I'm pretty sure Logan was supposed to start P9, so F2 place, this is a pretty good start for someone who wasn't supposed to race about an hour ago. Now, Matthew Stotts and Jamie started 15th and 16th. They are now 12th and 13th. On board with Bryce here, Lucas, Spot to Donald Stern and Greg.
Francisco, yeah. Dirty Air is the spawn of the devil here at Indianapolis. It can do what it did to Hannock, or it can send you helplessly into the outside barrier. It just kind of depends on, you know, how the air feels that day.
Now, it looked like Hannock was just trying to give room to the person on the outside, and then he just lost it. Trying to keep the car on the bottom. Now, AJ has gotten this gap down slightly to Hunter Smith.
And there goes Donald Stern as we have the camera on him off of the wall. Well, he kept the car undamaged.
Good save. Yeah, that was a good save, so maybe you can just get going from here unless those tires are damaged too much. Or too hot.
Oh, we got another spin. It's Fidel Fabian.
Oh! That must be rear wing, right?
Those rear wings still attached, so unless the game is desynchronized, we'll know if he goes into the pits here, which he is...
Is he going to? He's deciding. What's going on?
I'm confused. Apparently so is he.
Okay, so
Neil entering the pit lane. Hannock leaving the pit lane. Okay, Fabian has decided he will now pit.
Fabian's going in after the 10 seconds.
Oh, we're under yellow. That's why he was being indecisive. He was probably waiting for instructions on whether he could pit or not.
Okay, so that is a yellow. We got, what, 4 damaged cars so far?
Yeah, and it's not going to get any better from here.
Donald Stern with a great save. I don't know what would be the big incident that would have brought that out. Maybe Fabian's crash?
Unless we did... Well, we missed what happened to Liam O'Neill. He might have been more severe.
He ended up on track, so
On crack? Wait a minute.
On track. So I think we had 5 spinners, or 4 spinners at least, from that scenario. From the few laps we had on lap 6, so 4, technically, of our 100 that was scheduled.
That's going to probably throw us off a handful of times. Having to just subtract 2 from the lap count every time we do anything.
Now, most people are in the pits here, except for Jamie and AJ. Now, I don't know what the plan is there. Maybe just thinks that he's got a good strategy here, and he wouldn't want to throw away track position. But he wouldn't have thrown away much, as he would have come out P2 for the most part, or P3. But Jamie was P13 or 12 at the time, so that's probably a really good strategy for him to stay out and take P2.
Under this safety car, I'm going to blow my nose. So, give me about 30 seconds.
Now, I think that this this first stint, if we can call it that, after the 4 laps of running, or 3 laps of running, now, is that going to describe what the race is going to be like going forward, as we had almost or a quarter of the field spin, or more than a quarter of the field spin, with a quarter of them taking damage, and that was under full fuel. So I imagine that it might be a little bit more chaotic as we get more people, or more wear on the tires.
More than likely, it might actually get not as bad if we can get a few green laps in, because then the field's going to spread out, and dirty air can be cruel mistress when it comes to keeping your car under control.
No, I'm assuming we're passing those skid marks of Donald's turn on the track and the infield.
Yeah, I mean nobody else spun there.
That was very impressive to save the car from having any damage. That was a pretty good effort. Now in the pits is Matthew Stotts.
He's been
I
there.
didn't see him spin, but I'm assuming now he's just getting repairs. So it must have been pretty bad if he's in there for as long as he is.
I just tried to page down.
Who's that car that's getting there, or that is on the backstretch right now?
And this is Liam O'Neill, one of the cars that spun. He is, I guess, taking a lap back, but he's not really going as fast as he probably could be.
Oh, but I'm imagining they probably won't get started till Stotts is there too. I don't know.
I'm not sure if we can wait for that, considering how long he's been in there.
Yeah, I'm assuming that is repairs though that he'd be in there for. Now, does that mean Hennick's a lap down at the moment?
It must.
Because he's behind Liam, who got his lap back. I'm assuming the red means that you're a lap up. So Stotts is probably 2 down, Connor's probably 1, and then everybody else is on the lead lap.
Well, we can actually look on the top of the screen and see the lap counter. He's on 5 to AJ's 8, so he's actually 3 down.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that pit stop has been a very, very long time.
He must have lost a wheel or something.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's really interesting because I think I saw him for like a second on track, and I figured he spun, but I have no idea what.
Because even if he retired to the pits, they would just not have him on the leaderboard. So
yeah, so he's still in there, Trooper, gonna try to finish this race, hopefully. But I don't know how long he'll stay in here if he's 3 or 4 laps down.
And we are green once again for the Indy 250. We got the first take out of the way. Now let's actually get the action. That'd be a better line if we used it in Long Beach. But here we are. Well, there's no action in Long Beach. The 2 broadcasts I did of that proved that more than well enough. Anyway, enough slandering Long Beach. I have to try and bear with the random lag jumps that the cars will do. Trust me, we'll know if there's a crash because they will not teleport back to the road.
They will actually crash. There is a gap forming between, I would assume that's Kyler and Sean. Is that a wall tapper there?
Yeah, that's him actually hitting the wall. Fun fact.
So our pole sitter's P4 after taking the pit stop, which I'm not sure if Bryce took a pit stop, but I know the top 2 did not.
I think Hederman took a pit stop and just got out faster. I think that's what had happened there.
Now we have 2 cars in the pits of Braden and Stott still.
Jimmy Wright and AJ Kinnickle are going 2 wide as we reach 3. And this is for the lead. And I think maybe AJ just let him have that. I don't think he was trying to force that at all.
I think AJ's looking more long-term on his race. And fighting for first 8 laps in doesn't really matter.
And here comes Hederman to follow. And I don't think... records show AJ is not really resisting it.
I mean, because he definitely does have pace as he qualified front row. So I think at this moment he's not really trying to fight them. Oh, jumping. But, oh, so someone's going back on track. I think that is Braden. No, that's not Braden. That's Stotts. Stotts is done with his 3-minute pit stop.
The return of the king.
Lap 6 he is on, so 5 laps down.
Oh boy.
Man, that is crazy.
It's not the brightest
No,
outlook for Matthew Stotts at the moment.
I don't even know how you get all this back.
There'll be cautions. Believe you me. There will be cautions. There goes Hunter
Okay,
Smith.
so AJ lets Hunter go. Not really fighting him either. I mean,
AJ's also running only in 5th gear right now, which I don't think most of their cars are doing that at the moment. He's probably trying to keep his engine temps down. As he is, however, blocking Van Oostendorp from going by, so that was something else. Bit of a deviation from the plotline there.
Yeah, going from first and letting people buy to fourth, and then getting pretty aggressive with his blocks here. Hunter is going slow, letting these two by.
Yep, now Hunter's just gonna abandon that. They are too wide ahead. We're gonna put the camera Hunter Smith and watch this from a third-person perspective.
Okay, AJ's slightly off of the bottom of the track. They're still side by side. Now is AJ just probably gonna let him go here? He does. Travis is clear. Now, as we've been looking at this battle, they've just been running away with it, the top two. They're already on the exit of 4. About 4 seconds ahead.
And I begin to wonder if they will ever even attempt to contest for the lead, or if it'll just be a kind of just go ahead and take it type thing. Like we've seen so many times already, as we're only, 11 laps completed here in this Indianapolis race.
That's what I would have been worried about if I was AJ given the lead up, is if you're just going to find yourself in a battle, let all these people drive away in front of you. Now, this seems like the biggest gap on track besides that from 7th and 8th, and obviously the people that are wrecked. But competitively, top 2, and then it's 4 seconds to 3rd, and then from 7th, it's 4 seconds to 8th.
I did not go far back enough. Yeah, it's already getting pretty spread out, which means we are probably going to have a pretty lengthy green flag run, barring any immensely, harrowing circumstances, which, I mean, not impossible, but I don't really think it's terribly likely.
Now, I'm assuming we had a few wreckers here, as Jake Scarborough was in the pits for a certain amount of time, pretty long amount of time. Braden got out of the pits after having a very long pit stop. Connor is in the pits at the moment, and then Stotts, as we know, is 5 laps down.
And Jamie Wright's got a terrible exit out of 4, and...
Now, did he make contact with the wall there?
It kind of looked like he did, so... But I don't know if it was anything that damaged him. I think he could have probably ducked into the pits if it was major damage, so he may try and live with it if he has damage, which, based on his cornering speed, I think he does have some.
At the moment, he's 9/10 off of his lap, and Bryce is already gone.
Yeah, I think there's definitely damage.
I would expect to see Jamie in the pits here in this lap. I wouldn't want to limp with this at all, considering how bad that is. He was already 9/10 down out after the first 2 corners. Jamie is not pitting, so maybe he just thinks he can live with this till the pit stop? I really don't like that strategy.
Yeah, me either, but I mean, I guess if you manage to not get anybody else's way, I suppose what's the worst that could happen? And, oh my god, looking at the track map, it is kind of...
Really spread.
It looks like those things you see in, dentist's office where you slide things around the little, wires.
Now Travis makes the move around Jamie.
I hardly call that a move, that's just, it's like a highway overtake.
Jamie's limping at the moment.
He's just gonna stay high.
Oh, really close together.
Indycar almost understeers right into Jamie, but manages to avoid disaster.
Now, if you're Jamie, you've already lost 7 seconds in the 2 laps that you've not pit for this damage. Because obviously he has some, because there's no way he's 4.3 seconds out of his best lap intentionally.
You can also just look from the top speeds, as he was heading towards 1, he was doing 2:15 to Boggs 2:35.
Yes, okay, so now Kyler's probably going to try to make an overtake on Jamie and not get much contest.
No, not even a contest.
No, it's not. 2:22 is what he was able to get up to. And then Kyler, you said, almost got up into 2:40s. And these guys are reaching that in the corners. That seems like really bad damage. It didn't look like he had that much contact with the wall, but I guess it
And there goes
As my
Donald
experience,
Stern.
a contact doesn't feel good. Now we have Sean Crossley in the pits. I haven't seen any spins or anything like that. It could just be contact with the wall, like we saw from Jamie.
It's still likely.
No, I would like.
It's a likely
I would
reason.
like to see if we have, like, the difference in fuel between, for example, Hunter Smith and AJ. Because that'd be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah,
Looks to be
Hunter's
about
probably been
10.
riding in higher gears. Or not, this is Bryce Recker. Bryce Hederman's been running in fourth gear most of the time, so he's burnt a lot of fuel compared to Travis, who's got 10 more liters almost than he does.
No, I would believe in that scenario that means Bryce hasn't pit, and AJ hasn't as well, but he still has 1 liter more.
And then meanwhile we've got Hunter Smith with 53 almost. As it is Kaneko versus Van Oostendorp for the lead. Was that letting off to... No? Okay, that was just letting off to avoid, I guess. I was like, are we slowing down? Is there yellow? But no, we're just going that slow, I guess.
Yeah, so them being in fourth gear just gives them a really good advantage in the straight, but I think AJ probably is trying to save a little bit of fuel, or maybe just trying to make it last a little bit longer. I'm not too sure.
Or also, as I mentioned earlier, he could be trying to preserve his engine temperatures as well.
Yeah, he really could, because he could be looking really long-term, as we are only on lap 19 of 100 here. Now the gap from Bryce to Travis is 6 seconds at the moment. So Bryce has gotten himself a pretty good gap. I don't really know who this is in front of him.
That looks to be Matthew Stotts' car. I can't page down, this is the wrong game. No, that's not Matthew Stotts. Who would that be? Oh, this is Jake Scarborough that is behind him. Or that he's behind. Oh my god, I'm...
Yeah, so Jake does have some pace, but after I would imagine wrecked, it just is not good for his track position, obviously. P13 at the moment.
It's not ideal.
I would imagine hitting the wall is the best strategy call. Recently had Boggs overtaking Smith for P4. It's like the first actual overtake we've had in a while. Now, I don't really know what's happening between second and third, but Travis has pulled 4 seconds on AJ, and I don't think it was that far apart before. I thought they were really close together. But I mean, maybe Travis is pushing more, as you see, he's in fourth gear on the straights, and then upping it, or sometimes up to fifth. While AJ, I think, has been in fifth gear this whole stint.
And Boggs is on his bumper. As, also in fourth gear, this means that this will probably not be a difficult overtake for Boggs, either. If he gets even the littlest of runs.
He's going low, not much contest from AJ, able to clear him into the corner. So AJ's going like 205 in these corners, and at least in the first one. And Boggs is a little bit faster in the fourth gear. I would imagine there's probably like a 10-mile-per-hour difference. Now P6 or P5 is your pole setter of Hunter Smith, and then P6 is Logan, looking cool. So I mean that's pretty good for him. I think he started 9th out of 6 race. AJ pretty close to that wall. little scary.
And
Now
interesting is we have the first exit of the race, and that is Matthew Stotts. Honestly, with how many laps down he was, it's not really much surprise there.
surprised he actually made it that far. He was already 5 laps down. I thought he had gone when he was in the pit stop.
Nearly 240 for Hunter Smith, but he's forced to back out as I think there's a car exiting the pits ahead.
Oh,
and
someone's
AJ
around.
has spun around. And that's probably
off the track.
damage.
If we could see, that'd be helpful. If we could see the damage. Yeah. He's still on the track. That's kind of sketchy. Did he hit the wall? I really thought he did, yeah?
Well, he probably did, just we can't tell, because it may not have been enough to knock the wing off.
Yeah, he came down the pit
Camera,
side. The cameraman
he's over
with the
the.
best jump. Came. Switch. Let's switch. Let's switch. Let's switch. Okay.
I think he was
Okay.
lagging
So
out
AJ
there.
is
This
down the
is.
pits after that horrible mistake from P4 or 5. That was really bad for him.
It
I
also
did see
caused a
someone
big
else
checkup
get the
between that caused a big checkup between Fidel Fabian and Hunter Smith. Excuse me. Name's not great right now. That's actually put Logan Cool up to P4 following the mass hysteria that was brought out there.
And there is a gap to Kyler now. I thought I saw someone hit the wall after AJ spun though. It was right ahead of him. We could see that maybe that could have been Kobe as he's in the pits. I mean,
No, because I remember
thought it
seeing
was
the
a
design of
silver
the car
right?
that hit the wall up there, and that was not his car.
Yeah, I thought it looks kind of like Stearns or Jamie's, and I mean it could have been enough if it was Jamie to come into the pits. Braden going 65 on the backstretch, probably just looking for a spot to slot in. I mean, I'm not sure. I would have thought he would have slotted in by now. He is.
Oh no, I can tell by the way
so
he's steering. He's nursing
down.
some kind of suspension damage.
And he's about 5 down at this point. So that means Connor is worse. He's also 5 down. Bryce 10 seconds up on the nearest competitor. Pretty good run so far. And then the gap from 8th to 9th now is pretty insane.
The only real place to put the camera right now is this battle for 4th between Smith and Cool. They're the only ones that are even, like, within sight of each other, let alone battling.
Hunter with a pretty good maneuver just to back out of it and not end up hitting the wall. Logan on... Oh, Kyler was burning through gas. That was 9 liters.
Oh man, yeah, he's probably been in 4th this entire time to try and make up for lost time, since consider he started 15th. So...
Lap 30, he probably needs... I mean, the way he's running it now, if he runs a little bit more conservative on those next runs, he probably could do 2 stops, I would imagine. If we go caution free, of course.
And if you're seeing me constantly going back and forth between cars, because I'm trying to compare current speeds.
I would imagine they're pretty similar. Maybe Kyler's a little bit faster because of lower fuel.
Well, actually, no. Towards turn 1, Logan Kuehl was doing 227 to Kyler's 221. So.
Oh, interesting. And Logan's almost beat his best lap at this point. I mean, I guess he's showing some pretty good pace.
I think he's going to be in the slipstream now, so that's also going to make things even easier for him to try and make a pass.
He's still in 4th gear, so he's not shifting out at 4. I wonder if that's a strategy call? I'm not too familiar on that. I would think he would shift up. So he kind of backs out of that.
He may have been startled if Kyler Boggs' leg jumping was also present on his end or not.
Yeah, that could have been something for sure. Now, that does bring Hunter Smith to Logan. Not really pressing the issue.
Feels like a NASCAR race. As we're now lapping AJ Kinnickle.
So AJ is still P9 solidly. The gap, so everyone from 8th forward is on the lead lap. Everyone from 9th back is at least a lap down. And
I think they're actually both 2 if a lap is like 40 seconds. As, I think Bryce wanted to pit there, but he couldn't slow down in time, so he had to abort the entry. That'll lose him a little bit of time.
One more lap. He does have one more lap, though, to make it back. He should be fine. Not ideal, though. I think the gap went from something like 12 or 13 to 11 now. That is, Kyler comes down. He would not have had another lap to make it around.
Oh, no. I guess up for debate if, oh, never mind, yeah, Hunter does, or, not Hunter!
Also, 2 more takers. Fabian is down too. Along with Scarborough.
Yeah, both my drivers are also down.
The gunshots from Bryce's cars. He wants to come down to the pits. He pretty safe on it. Entry.
And this will allow Magnussen to inherit the lead until his fuel runs out. Which looks like that'll be like 4 laps from now.
Game. Okay.
It just told me you've disconnected.
It did.
And I can't re-invite you.
Oh man.
You need to either use a spare invite or join through like my profile or something, or AJ's profile.
Let's see if I can. I imagine that was probably my internet then. So what is Travis on for fuel?
Looks like about 7.8.
Oh, okay. Because he took that first pit stop, so he'll be able to push this out a little long. Honestly, I don't know what the 3 who stayed out were doing. I mean, mostly in AJ's case, because he already had good track position.
Well, I would have said being in clean air is very beneficial to not crashing, but...
I am able to join, but I'm not... Oh, hold on. There's a spectate thing. Okay, we're good.
And when, I think that when... internet. No, never mind. I was gonna say I thought Logan was gonna inherit the lead when Travis came in, but Logan has to pit first, actually, so...
Was Logan not good on fuel?
He was very low. He could have made one more lap, but...
I think that would be the worst thing for you to do if you run out of gas. I really wouldn't push it that hard. I think people are trying to push it maybe for the strategy that they're looking for, but obviously
yeah, around this point in the race. Yeah, around this point in the race, you're splitting the race into 3 sections. This is on what is technically lap 34 at the moment.
Now, someone who may not be on that strategy is AJ, who pit a little bit earlier for the damage that this thing caused. I'm good now.
I think
now,
AJ is probably going to halfway, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would assume so. Just a rough go at it for him. Technically, if the damage wasn't too severe, he's probably now similar in time to the other people in front of him now. That's not timed up for me yet. So that is Liam in 8th place, who shouldn't put up too much of a fight for AJ. Oh, maybe a little bit, hold him up with that.
As AJ couldn't go wide. He didn't want to go wide enough to try and make the pass yet. Probably the good idea to not do it, because then you can just, you know, go on a straightaway.
Not wreck again. Yeah. So
like
the next car up, he's not going to be able to get around him because he's in 5th. Next car up is Fabian. 3 seconds at the road. What happened to Liam? Oh no, he's behind him. The timing was weird. It's like 9 seconds back. So Hunter hasn't hit, no? Or he has?
He has not hit, but he's due for it.
And
as I say that.
Is he almost sped? Good entry though.
It was far and away the most aggressive true we've seen all day.
Oh yeah, everybody else is playing it pretty cool. The gap did get smaller from Bryce to Travis, but it's still 6 seconds that he's got on whoever is next in line. Now, interesting thing from Hunter, he could have just saved up to that point. Does that make it so he can be a little bit more aggressive near the end of this race?
I suppose it's just the matter that I don't know how much tires are burning. I don't really know if being aggressive really matters in that way.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. We'll see what happens, because now are they on the same lap as him?
No, they weren't.
I think
just started 39 because his car crossed the line in the pits, so now they will be going around him.
Question is, who else can get around him besides Bryce? If Bryce can, I assume he can. Maybe Travis would be near.
Bryce will get around pretty easily. It's gonna probably be like slotting right in between.
Closer than I thought, though, because the gap was really big between Price and everyone else behind. So, I mean, that's good for Hunter. I guess the overcut, he just ran really clean laps while he was on open air. Oh, that's a wall.
Not ideal. That's a wall.
Yeah,
I'd like search for the word.
Starting your next stint. Well, I was just making sure it was real. That, I mean, as soon as like much of a clean race as he's had, just to smack the wall like that is crazy to me. Just kind of threw away that big stint he had, but I would assume that's legit, and I would assume it isn't hurting him too much, but it is hurting him a certain amount. As Hunter is looking for probably a move on this front stretch. It's interesting to see this gap. I mean, he did hit that, but I don't know how hard, though. How hard the contact
Must not be too hard if he's still hitting low 230s on a straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like it's not really catastrophic damage. Then they are really spread out from the pack, though. As the next closest is Travis, and then the next closest from that is Kyler, who just got into turn 1.
Yeah, they're battle. I'm also watching them.
Oh,
battles between or battles for 6th and for 8th individually. They're not too close to each other, but they are technically near each other. If somehow this battle raged on for a really long time, Knickel and O'Neill could get closer, but I'm not thinking that'll happen.
Now, honestly, for AJ having the catastrophic spin that he had, not really the worst case scenario, as he's only 30 back from like the leaders. So I mean, while he had a really bad like thing happen, it's oh no, commentator's curse.
That may not have been real. We'll have to see.
That may not have been
what his
real.
car
It looked
does.
like it though. I think if it would have been contact that bad, he probably would be out of this thing. And the speed isn't too different. But no, like from his spinning, and I imagine he got damage hitting the wall and having that repaired. He might be a pit stop behind, which obviously is never good. But if he gets a caution, he's not like out of it by any means.
And yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, there's still a decent chance of that. All it takes is one big slip up at the wrong place at the wrong time, and suddenly we have a traffic jam. What?
I mean, I think if a place would happen, just any of the competitors, if they had done any of that happen. Now I think a spot that could happen is the two people fighting off of exit 2, or maybe just starting sector 2, the 4 cars there. But yeah, it can happen anywhere. If the people tangle with each other, just someone has to catch the car. Jamie with a fall from Grace, though, P12 after being first and second for the first part of this race. Now look at the gap between 9th and 10th. That is something crazy.
Several laps distance. Meanwhile, all of the top 9 are all on the lead lap at the moment.
Yeah, pretty surprising, but I mean, welcome, obviously.
I got more jumping. It's not as bad here as it would be at a regular road course, though, because you can generally kind of predict where a driver would be anyway. You know, where they're putting their car on their end.
I will say, I am surprised with the, Liam has to catch the car a little bit more. Oh, that looks real. At least the first part, the contact. But, I am surprised at how good, Logan Cool's doing. From not technically qualifying into this event and replacing one of the drivers who couldn't make it up to P5, and that is very real after they've done the first cycle of pit stops. Doing pretty well, I would say.
From what I had heard, the only reason he didn't qualify super well was because his best flying lap was kind of messed up by the setup lap being really bad out of 4, meaning he had no speed down the front straight.
Oh, who's getting loose there? Who's that? That person is a lap down from Fabian.
That's not that at all. That's Stern ahead of him. I don't know who's the car ahead of that, but
The car was catching is the one that's by pit road right now. Probably going into it. That blue dot over there. I don't know if you can see. We'll find out in a second who that was. That was Kobe, who had to catch it on the inside. I mean, I don't know what led to that, but it looked like it could have been something if he would have just messed up his save. Now there's another pit box.
10
for
pitting.
Connor. Yeah.
The gap is beginning to widen at the front as Petterman, probably getting some draft off of this lap car here, is getting away from Hunter Smith to a certain extent.
What's the fuel look like between these two? I see 50 for Hunter and then 37.7 for Bryce. So interesting. I mean, that could have something to play with in the final stint. I wonder if Fetterman will have to make something extra, like maybe an extra pit stop. Maybe not. We'll see once we get to it.
I think a full tank of fuel is about 40 laps, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting though, because how much fuel difference between the top two. Now, I think Hunter just probably has more than the field, since he stretched it out significantly farther than most of the other drivers, except for Scarborough, who was also out there with him when he went to pit. And then AJ is catching, so I'd assume Liam is probably also catching as well. The two drivers up here, Fabian and Stern.
Wouldn't be surprised they've orchestrated some sort of, if we don't pass each other, we can catch the next cars type of thing. Although, that said, it's not like Fidel is really forcing this issue. Well, he can't really force this issue from here anyway, but... Even when he was much closer than this, he still wasn't exactly forcing it on Donald, so... The rare 6th gear makes an appearance from Liam O'Neill as they head toward turn 3.
Oh, Liam's trying to catch it. Oh man, he's had some struggles on that first part, like even I think in turn 1 and then turn 3 as well, just catching it. It seems to go wide on him. And then he's having a little bit of an overcorrect issue.
And Fidel is beginning to really lose track of Stern here, and on top of that, he's also got much less fuel than he does.
Yeah, I think the fuel from Fabian is similar to the fuel from Bryce at the moment. Fabian just creeping under 30, while Bryce is also going to be under 30 here in a second.
But he is ultimately going faster than Smith, so... Obviously, not exactly a night and day difference in between the two right now, that he would really need to stay ahead when he pit again, but... Yeah, Fabian is beginning to fade, and probably about to see Knickel and O'Neill appearing in his mirrors in a moment.
Yeah, I believe so. Now, while Fabian is falling from P7, he did start P14 technically in the timesheet. So, I mean, a pretty good day for one of the NFR drivers. The other one's having a little bit of a harder time.
The other one is like 4 laps down. Actually, 5 laps down.
So right now your front runners are Bryce and Hunter Smith. Pretty good gap the whole day. I think Hunter gave away. He gave away obviously the front spot to take some more fuel, which maybe he was thinking a little bit farther down the road. But pretty interesting. He's been able to claw his way back. P2, solid gap to third, which Travis is just in turn 2. And there's another 8-second gap between third and fourth. So we are very spaced out, but we're starting to get into some little clusters of people. Like Fabian is catching Stern back, and then AJ's right behind him. Pretty good go on board with AJ here. But they have lost Liam, so I mean we'll see how this goes.
I imagine Liam lost AJ because AJ got the slipstream off of. Well, there's
Now
we
AJ
just
is gonna
lapped
have to pit
Jamie.
soon because he's only on 8 liters of fuel, so I would expect him to come in like 2 laps. So AJ will have to be on like a pit strategy where he has 1 more pit stop, whereas Fabian may not.
Yeah,
now,
I think,
honestly, okay.
I
In my
think,
opinion, I think the only people that are gonna make it, I think Hunter Smith might be the only one to make it to the end, unless someone else has something with fluid.
Jamie Wright being caught by Stern was what initially threw the wrench in the works of this sort of battle between these two, because I'm sure Stern got Jamie's draft and got away from Fidel a little bit, but once Fidel caught Jamie and began taking his slipstream, it evened out.
Fabian with his fastest lap. I mean, we can compare lap times there. AJ had a 41, 2 almost. Fabian with a 40.5. Oh, now Fabian's making a move.
I think
And
Donald just let
let him
that go.
Yeah, now, not really going that fast. I mean, maybe, I don't really know. AJ's gonna have to make his pit stop either this lap or next. I think it'd be this lap. Donald's on the inside. I didn't know if he picked up damage. It sounded like he did now, though. Oh, cameraman with the amazing work. He's coming on pits. It's not really a fuel issue. I mean, could it be damage issue? I didn't see him at the wall, but he could have. Anyways, good move from Fabian, though, getting around him, whatever way he did. AJ is not in at the moment, but definitely has to be this lap. So expect another,
Yeah, he's not going to make around another one
hits.
if he doesn't take it here.
Let's see this entry. Let's see if AJ can get a solid entry here. Comes down. That looks sketch. He should be fine though. It was just a little weird with the timing. There's another pit crew. He runs over a guy.
Murder.
This gap is getting a little bit smaller between Hunter and Bryce. Hunter's still at 26 liters of fuel, while I don't know what Bryce would be at. 13. Now, I mean, do we think that Bryce can make it like 40 laps? I mean, even if he can, there has to be some sort of saving, right?
Yeah, I don't really know. Don't really know what his game plan is here. I'm thinking that drivers were relying on yellow flags happening, and they just kind of never did. The moment the field got even a little bit spread out, and all the chickens put their heads back on, we didn't really have any yellows on this race so far.
Now, Hunter is in a great scenario. He's 12 seconds from the next car. He has fuel for, I would imagine, another 12 laps. And I don't see anyone around him that's very competitive, because Bryce is the next one here, and I would imagine, either has to save to make it, or just can't make it on another run. Now, AJ did do his pit stop, so he is, I would imagine, 2.5 or so laps down. He pretty solidly has P8 or 9 as Donald's going around. Looks like they're slowing. Would that be a yellow?
Not sure what this would be for. Fidel is coming out of the pits, so that's not it.
I didn't see anything on track. But now that throws a big wrench in the Hunter's easy win is what I would assume, as long as he didn't choke the race. But now it's a little bit different. That kind of puts Bryce back in it. I don't know if you can make it that far. To my knowledge. But anyways, we do have a caution. I don't really know what for. I didn't see anything. I don't know about you.
Nope. But I think I might have a guess.
Be Mr.
He's over there! No?
This camera.
Still no, still not. Yeah, that's
Oh,
him.
there we go.
He's finally managed to make his way into shot, and he is missing his front wing, and I'm surprised he's not missing a
Oh,
wheel.
that's bad.
It's not
I didn't
ideal.
see him crash, but that looked pretty severe. I mean, if it's just something on track, it probably would have been enough to bring out one. Now, I don't know, is that good for AJ? Or, I mean, I'm assuming he's still laps down, so it probably isn't the best thing that he pit and then had a caution immediately after. Now, for Fabian, I don't know, because he was in the middle of his pit stop, so I think he'd be one down at the point of the caution.
Some kind of comment. It's possible that may be an explanation. No, it's not. It's not. It's Justin. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Well, that's not him. It's whom? Oh, well, okay, that makes more
Fabian's
sense.
out,
Fidel
so he just made that pit stop. I would saving. If I don't know if they can make it, I definitely don't think Fabian can make it. I'm already 4 liters of gas lower than people are gonna get there.
McIntosh is here for the flips. Well, we haven't really had many, or any. We've only had like a couple of crashes.
We had one in our first lobby.
No, we had one in the warm-up.
We've had some pretty good crashes. Now we have Justin, who's rooting for Logan, as his driver. He's doing pretty good P5. I would say that's a pretty good performance for someone who wasn't supposed to be here. That's about it. I got to say that.
I don't know if Fidel realizes, but if he did not pit, he can go take a wave around. He's not on their lap.
Oh, is he still a lap behind?
Yeah. But he's waiting for the other guys that he can just go.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about. Did he already take one? Is that what
Well,
so
he
AJ's
did
also
already pit,
one.
but I think he was in the pits when the yellow happened.
So that means if he's one down, then that also means AJ would be one down. Unless AJ's two down. Oh no, they're on the same lap. Okay. So maybe they're all getting their wave rounds now.
It's this blue car.
Confusion.
It'll be all settled eventually.
Yeah, we'll figure it out at some point. Now, Fabian's slowing back down. I don't really know if this is...
I don't know, like, they're over here, guys? Like, come on.
Everybody else seems to get the memo except for your driver, it seems. I would assume this is the lap they're gonna go, no?
I don't know about that.
I mean... I don't know. I don't know if that's about...
So following what is very clearly a wave around, we now have top 8 on the lead lap, but Donald did not take a wave around. Oh my god, we're getting spammed. Okay, Justin, I was working on saying it, but I was waiting for my co-commentator to stop before I was going to say it, and then he said it anyway, and I was just like, well...
Apologies.
I'm the leader.
Confused by this whole thing. So it's... These group of guys up front, probably that's like top 6, or that's probably the top 6. They're on the lead lap. And everybody else behind isn't, except for one person who is taking a wave around. I don't... Is it...
No, the top 8 are on the lead lap. Donald's the first one that's not.
Is AJ on the lead lap? I didn't think he was. Oh. That's not AJ. No, Liam...
now here.
Liam is first. What? Oh, pit stops. Interesting. Maybe that could be like... They just had some damage we didn't see being repaired. But now your 1 and 2 is 4-5.
It'll be interesting now, because since we're in the second half, we're going to be restarting on lap 60 of 100. That means that we won't really have the same passive you go ahead mentality that we had at the first restart.
Yeah, man. So this could be where the the caution started. People are too aggressive, and Ty might get those flips.
I'd be impressed if we didn't have one, to be honest, as the drivers, you know, do precisely that.
So we really do have a split between who's on the lap and who's not. Liam,
Yes.
he has to thank his pit crew for putting him P1 because he definitely wasn't here before. But not too bad. I think he caught the caution at the right time, and I mean, let's see if he can hold it. Not too good in qualifying, about P12 or so. Let's just pause for a start.
And the restart is green. I'm going to sit up in the chair, so here's some weird sounds for you. A huge misshift for Van Oostendorp is going to put Hederman into third. I don't really know if you're allowed to pass before the line, though, but...
Was that before the line?
That was miles before the line.
Okay, so this car in front... Oh, there's someone on the wall. That's Hunter. I don't know if that's real or not, but it looked like it. Now AJ on Logan Pool, pretty decent gap. Oh, that's Travis, right? And that's on Hunter. Well, there. I was gonna say
Boggs
AJ's
has
in fourth
already
gear
seized
for
the lead from Liam.
Yeah, pretty good start. I didn't even see him up here. I guess he was probably P2 at that point. Good thing I caught myself that AJ was not Travis, because I was almost gonna say AJ's finally using fourth gear for the first time in this race.
For the first time in about 2 laps, he is in 5th gear.
Oh, I don't know.
That one,
Fabian is on his bumper though.
that one seemed like it had to have been real, but it also, I guess, is not. This is, whenever confusing.
I mean, he's catching, but I.
Yeah, it's wonder how long it'll take until Fabian sends it, because the top speed difference is immense.
The lag on this game is confusing the commentators.
These are confusing times.
Now, we are kind of spread out, but not really. As Kyler and Liam are really close together. Bryce has bridged that gap, while Hunter has gotten stuck, it would seem, behind Travis.
You may have a battle for the lead escalating in the near future here.
I mean, we would assume that Bryce is the fastest car out of these three, right? I feel like that'd be a good thing to assume since he's been leading the whole thing. And I haven't seen these two get into too many incidents, but, I mean... Now, question is, I feel like they're all are gonna have to do a slight pit stop just to get some fuel in the car. Just enough to make it to the end. Oh no! Oh, death!
Somehow not losing a wheel there.
That was a really hard hit, and he's on the track! Oh, what are you doing?
It's not the safest merge I've ever witnessed.
Anybody who takes a tight line would have killed him.
That is apparently not a caution, I guess.
I really thought that would be, considering we had a caution for whatever happened before. I'm assuming that was.
So I guess commentator curse happened again. You said I would assume he's the fastest car, and then he goes and commits Sudoku out of 3.
Yeah, I was just losing the car and couldn't catch it. I mean, I don't know. I think it didn't look like he. Oh, it didn't look like he locked it up. It just looked like he was going around and then reacted too late and then just found himself in the inside wall. Now that, I think, takes him out of the running to win this thing, unless we have some more cautions, which, surprisingly not so far.
Yeah, so that definitely kind of leaves it between these two sort of dark horse drivers. Between O'Neill and Boggs for the moment.
I really do think Travis is holding up Hunter, because I mean, you saw Bryce get around him and then put a few seconds down. I mean, is that dirty air really doing that much to Hunter here, you think?
It may be that Hunter is also trying to go slower, because no, this is most likely not enough fuel to reach the end.
Yeah, I would think at this point you could just commit to that. Just coming down and taking just enough fuel to make it to the end. I mean, Hunter could just be trying to stretch it because he did do that with the first stint. But I don't think he even would have enough fuel if he did what he did in that run. Because he had to put on like lap 38. But I mean, well, he can try. But right now the gap has extended a tad between these two. And I think Liam probably would just be waiting his time out so that he can try to make a move on him. Just making sure that gap is secure. It looks like he's pushing pretty aggressively though, so...
He's in 6th gear. Once again, the rare appearance of Gear 6.
Oh, and it gets him loose. He had to catch it though.
Too many downshifts. The gearbox not a fan of that conduct.
Yeah, whole car wasn't a fan of that. He had to catch it. It was pretty impressive though. I think he's learning his lesson by going up into 5th gear before the corner, not doing any gear shifts. And oh, never mind, he goes back down to 4th. Now Logan is in for a pit. Maybe he's just banking on that one stop happening. Bryce is gone after that.
From here
we do have
zero
Logan
right
in. I really do think he's just putting the fuel in to make it to the end from here. It's a smart thing to do. It's not a stupid thing. He's already got the fuel in the car. Any repairs happening now? I mean, it's smart, but it's also not, because if you have a caution happening here, I feel like you're not in the best spot. John Crossley down now. Now, is Logan already out on track?
Oh, as Cosley has retired the car. He's about to be out on track in a minute.
And that'll put him P9 pretty solidly. So,
8.
Oh, okay. Well, pretty solid recovery, though, from AJ, like we were saying earlier. That caution was pretty timely for him. Set him back up in a good spot. Now P5. Only 8 seconds from the lead. Or 9. Hunter setting some pretty consistent lap times. AJ is second off. Or that's Liam, but AJ is a second off. Which, I mean, could mean that him and his 5th
Also,
gear
this is actually this is a battle now. He got him too wide again. Liam O'Neill had taken the lead, but not a great exit out of 2 means like Boggs is gonna take it right back.
Really
and they're now coming up to lap Logan Cool.
Oh!
That's a real hit.
That's real, and he's in the grass. Oh man, that sucks. Just pushing it too much, trying to fight back.
He's managed to survive, so for better.
Yeah, I mean I would assume that you would see a pit stop from here now, from him just trying to make it to the end at this point.
Yeah.
Now that leaves. Oh man, that sucks for him. Now Travis is the lead contender, 2 seconds back.
And now we've definitely reached the twilight zone of this race. There is nothing to look at. There's nothing to report on at all.
Okay, so Hunter's at like 40. I don't see any way you're making it to the end unless you average 1.5 liters per lap, which I don't think you can do.
No.
So I think that's pretty much confirmed what we have to do for this race. What the drivers do.
Yeah, so we don't have to do a darn thing.
We just get to watch this madness happen.
Best seat in the house is not in the driver's seat.
That is true indeed in this scenario. Now, Travis, maybe Kyler backed off a little bit, but Travis is definitely not getting this gap to 4 tenths.
Yeah, we might see our own battle here if Travis puts the pedal to the metal here. As they're going by Liam O'Neill on the pit access.
Honestly, I think the only person really pushing on track is Travis. Like, if you see these lap times, second faster than first, second, or third, fourth, and fifth, which I don't think the third
Slipstream.
and fourth are first. They're really pushing that much.
So
Yeah, that does make a
Slipstream
difference.
maybe playing some role, but not a huge role, because he is kind of letting off every once in a while. He's not,
Oh, who's that
you know,
wrecked?
crash ahead, but look kind of like Scarborough's car. It was
It
starting
is
to
indeed.
recognize these cars.
He's about 9 laps off. So, I mean, really, really, really bad for Jake. I hope that doesn't bring out a yellow and ruin this, kind of a good strategy race we could have at the end.
And it didn't, because he was all the way out of the racing line before
Yeah,
anybody got
luckily
there.
he got out of the way.
I don't know if by choice, but he in fact got out of the way.
So now, yeah, so Travis has pushed up, and then it looks like Kyler stopped, not sandbagging, but just, conserving. And, they should, have some sort of battle here.
And they're both the same on field. They're not going to have much of a choice but to fight eventually. Although I imagine most cars are at about 32 right about now, so...
Except for the ones in the pit, like, Logan, Fabian, and I think, Liam as well.
I can't tell if that's 30 or 38. I'm so far away from my screen.
That is 30.
Oh, well,
For
that would have told me
AJ.
right there.
And AJ is in 4th gear now. That is surprising to see from that driver.
He's probably realizing he can't make it to the end, and he's just going to push this
Yeah.
fuel and get to the next stint.
And
Oh, right, we
Logan
reached the
is the
cars
first
up
driver that can make it. About a minute and a half, a little bit over 2 laps behind.
Eventually, Travis will have to realize that there's no choice. I have no other option. But, of course, Bog's just going to let that happen, basically.
Yeah, and probably gonna try to set up a move here sometime soon, unless he's hoping he can undercut Travis and get some more fuel in the car and then just push from there.
He's trying to break the slipstream, and Kyler is not interested in changing lanes at all.
Yeah, not caring from what it looks like. Now, I would think your best course of action would just be to run this fuel out and then change the tires and put enough fuel in it to make it. Probably give yourself an extra few liters and then just full push from there. But, I mean, obviously we've seen some differentiating strategy as Logan already come in. Liam didn't have a choice, but Crowder's backing off here.
Oh, we have a yellow.
They're slowing down. Oh no! That was the strategy. I wonder what for? Two drivers going slow in sector 2. Or that is sector 3. Beginning of sector 3. Kobe and I don't know who that other driver is, just in the middle of 3 and 4.
Oh, that'd be Hannick.
Connor.
As we see some
now-
tire marks, I think that was from earlier when Liam almost bit the dust.
Oh, don't do that. I don't see any damage, but obviously we don't see the front wing, and I think that means that there's that much of it.
This is definitely suspension damage. The way that he's like trying to like crab walk there.
Connor's in. It looked like sped and yeah, I think pretty severe damage for the guy in 11th place. Lap 72, so about 8 behind. So 70, about 8 behind still. He's trying to find his way into the pits, and he doesn't. Interesting. Now, this car looks beat up severely. I don't know what his plan of action is. Nice camera work.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's...
That's
don't know,
no
it's-
good. That's not
And he's
ideal.
going 35. So, I mean, he probably was trying to get in the pits, he just couldn't. That's not a good sign from, like, everyone else on track. Which everyone else is making their pit stops here.
Silly pit road RNG, says Bryce Hederman.
Now, that is Kyler in the pits, right? Or did he end up...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he's in the pits. I don't know why Travis gained so much more time on him, but maybe there's some sort of damage on Kyler's car. They're loading up with fuel, so they're not going to try any saving in this final lap. I think you could go a little less than a full tank, and I'm pretty sure Kyler just got signaled out. But not moving.
If they're repairing damage, it'll do that, but you can't move.
Oh, okay. So then he did have some sort of damage.
Which he was going awfully fast if he had damage.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty impressed on how he managed that. Now we have Travis P1, Hunter Smith P2, Polsetter, and AJ Kaneko P3. And then did Logan pit? I would like to see that. That'd be interesting to see. He did not, but he is P4, and I think that's enough fuel. So, in a good scenario, actually. I don't know how much where the tires are under here, but for the most part, that'd be good. Now, did Donald not pit? I'm assuming. Maybe
I
not.
don't know what was happening there. It looked like Logan gave him the spot, but I don't remember.
I think it's because Logan might have been a lap down, and then Donald wasn't when the caution came out. That could be my only guess.
I don't remember.
Is that technically because Logan wasn't on the lead lap, so maybe getting that lap back means he starts behind Donald? Now, does that mean Logan, or not Logan, but Kyler's going to be a lap down or two?
So apparently the RNG that Hatterman spoke of was mentioning that he got held in the pits on the last caution and lost 4 places.
Yeah, he went from 1st to 5th. So, yeah, not too good from Bryce there.
At long last, he emerges.
His pit road. Not too good from his pit team to help him lose that many spots.
And I'm actually starting to kind of feel drowsy. I might be taking a nap after this. Yeah, you heard me right. A nap at like 7:30. Welcome to my life.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the points here, and a few big hitters in the points already out as 3 and 4 in IndyCar points so far. It was Braden Sisko and Matthew Stotts, and they are no longer here, I believe. So they're not gonna keep those spots after this. There's no way. P5 is Travis. P1 is AJ. P2 is Kyler. So they're holding up their spots fairly well. P6 is Hannick, and then P5 is Travis. So Hannick's struggling, trying to recover best he can. Logan P7, running a pretty good race. And then the next driver here, that is in the points, is probably Donald.
And we are green once again. Thank you for filling the space there because I was totally zoning out there. My brain was just kind of caught on pretty much everything that wasn't ARC for like a solid minute. Anyway, we are green again, and it's pretty much a stalemate. Nobody really got any kind of advantage on anybody else from it. It literally is like, just like bumper to bumper. That's a lot of wall for Logan Cool. I don't know if that's...
No, it's real to me, but... He's already losing some sort of pace to them. So it seems real. I hope not. That would be a heartbreaker for him, having such a clean race.
And now we're starting to get the weird traffic stuff going on. That's 3 wide. Oh, good lord. Okay. Kyler let off, and that prevented disaster.
Yeah, that got really scary when they were completely
Travis is probably looking in the mirror and doing a little golf clap, seeing all this in his...
I bet so.
As he's looking in the mirror. That sounded like not clapping, but I assure you that was me doing a golf clap.
It sounded like a sort of clapping. Now, they've gotten their stuff figured out for the most part. Kyler ended up holding on to P4. Hunter P3, AJ P2. Now they're kind of getting their stuff together. AJ, for the first time, is surging to the front of the pack, catching Travis pretty easy with the help of Slipstream, and probably a little bit more pace if I were to assume.
I think he might have been hanging on to, like, I wouldn't say sandbagging, but he was certainly driving not aggressively in the last, 80 some laps, and now suddenly he's decided, oh yeah, that's right, there's not much race left, time to go.
Okay, now going for a move here. Oh, Travis slides up a little bit, blocking whatever run he could have had. Now I wonder if AJ will just kind of chill and wait till it gets a little bit closer to the end of this race, or I mean, I assume he wants to make the last move, so I don't know how long he's gonna hold on for that.
Yeah, I mean, to be the last person to make a pass is the ideal scenario, but unfortunately, AJ can't loiter very long, as here comes Kyler Boggs.
I don't think we'll wait around that long to make a move.
Yeah, you don't really have the option, because the longer you wait around, the more chance that... Oh!
Stern is dead. That's not a top 5 for him anymore.
It's not ideal, but...
That is definitely not ideal.
I don't think that's gonna be a yellow.
Now, what's this... I think Donald and Logan had less fuel than everybody else, but they also have a little bit more tire wear, so I would imagine it sort of levels out. Now, the only cars that are on the lead lap, Stern, I would imagine, can pit, so it would be just the top 5 here. Hunter not pushing any sort of issue.
Not pushing, he's hardly pushing the gas pedal, let alone pushing the issue.
Really, seems like he's coasting. I mean...
I don't really think you have to save fuel, you've got 15 laps to go, like... I don't really think you're at a state of emergency there.
Maybe he's just waiting for a big push. I don't know if that's the smartest thing, or it could have damaged, I have no idea.
That's kind of what it's looking like, we'll have to see what it's driving like in the corners, but... Yeah, that's damage.
197. Yeah, that's damage. I don't know how he got it. We weren't on board for that, unfortunately. But that kind of narrows out one of the big contenders for this race. AJ going outside, Travis just not letting him around there, obviously. We're coming to lap 87 of the 100. So it should get real spicy here near the end. Top 5 are the only ones that are really in contention for this thing. And that is more like the top 3, as 4th and 5th are kind of out of it with damage from what we presume.
Logan doesn't seem to have that much damage. I think he just maybe made a small mistake and lost the pack.
I mean, I don't know. He's losing a decent amount of time, and lap time comparisons 2 seconds off about from Travis and AJ. So I think there is some damage, but it's just not to the degree that Hunter has, because he has a lot more. But yeah, it just sucks for both of them.
It's not the degree he has, because it sucks a lot more. Well, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, the gap between them, Logan and Hunter Smith is 3 seconds, so obviously there's a degree of damage there. Whoever else left that comment, now is not the time to look at it, so... Until AJ loses a bit more time, and I know for a fact I can look at it and not miss anything crucial. Chad Thunquist says, I want to see Van Oefendorp win.
Well, I don't think he'll be winning... Actually, no, wait, no, I'm blind. I was gonna say, I don't think he'll be winning from looking down the list and realizing that he's referring to the guy that's leading the race.
T1. Yes, he is. So Stern pits, Anik also pits.
Serpentine! Serpentine! Serpentine!
I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong here, that AJ won the last Indy 250, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he won the last one. He stole it from Hunter. Not very much race to go. I feel like he might be living out.
Hunter kind of redid what he did last year, as he just don't know if
that did damage. I don't think
I
that
don't
was a
know,
really
but
big hit.
I'm pretty sure that happened though.
It
So
happened, but I just don't think it was enough of
car.
a blow to actually, like, damage the car.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope not, because that might take away the battle if it. He is up to 235, so I shouldn't be too much.
Chad, if you don't have anything
I just wanna
productive
see
to
this
add,
battle.
leave.
Now, I really hope this battle is something really interesting, because it could change the whole race around if we have a nice battle for the win.
Well, no, really?
Listen, I'm trying to add some
The
commentary
race
here.
results will change if the leader is changed.
That's not what I was saying. I meant, like,
Pretty much.
entertainment value. Now, Kyler, I don't know what's going on with Kyler. He's just about a second off, or 7/10 off. Not really in it. It just seems like these two are the one that the camera's going to be on. Their lap times are the only ones that are really up here, except for people with fresh tires.
I said productive to say, not productive to do, Chad, anyway. Taking away the immersion here. It's like, kindly make like a fly and buzz off.
Now, who are those two lap cars in front? That would make it pretty interesting if they get into it. I think one of them's dipping off. Thank goodness, wherever you are. Now this other one, I don't really know who it is. I think that first one was Fabian, to be honest. Oh no, I guess not. Okay. Oh no!
Well,
Oh no! That was contact. Oh, and someone's flipping. That must be a caution.
Well, that
There's
would
no way
be
that's not.
Jamie
It's a
that
stack
crashed
up in
with
turn
him.
3. Is someone
And
so
yes,
many-
there's the yellow.
Oh, so that okay. This makes this really interesting. We'll have a shootout from lap 93, so probably like 95 to 100, 96 to 100, so 4 or 5 laps. Groups the field together. Hopefully, people can get their damage repaired, and we'll see what everybody's got. If they're holding on, they definitely can't hold on anymore. Now, based on what we've seen all race, do you think there's a possibility that someone that isn't in the top 4 right now takes this thing?
If Hunter has like a huge like nitrox or nitrous moment, maybe. I don't really think anybody else outside of the top 5 is even going to be on the lead lap. So
I think Hunter has a decent amount of damage, but if he can get that repaired, still be on the lead lap, he should have a good chance at this. I think Kyler hasn't really been on the pace, and apparently AJ's been holding back. So I think it's mostly between Travis, AJ, and Hunter. Now, so they're just not gonna pit. Kyler is. I mean, I don't really know how good of a decision that is, considering I'm pretty sure they're still gonna group up and be behind y'all and on fresher tires and probably the same amount of fuel if they can change their fuel.
well, you don't need more. We're only gonna have like
No,
6 laps to go.
They definitely don't. Which I didn't realize how much fuel these two have. Oh, that sound though. That lets. Okay, so we have 3, 4, and 5 down in the pits. Fabian gets a lap back.
One of many.
Yes, but no, I mean this is really gonna be interesting because now 3rd, 4th, and 5th all have fresh tires.
I know we had to turn penalties off because of the rolling start, but I don't think you're allowed to do 75 on the pit lane there, Hunter.
Yeah, I've seen some pit road entries where they've probably gone over and they deserve a penalty. I don't know. I don't know what we'd do about those. Maybe if we just catch them, send them or something. So we are on lap 94, technically. Going to 95. Pretty close to the end of this thing. I think if we get grouped up, we'll go next time, from what my understanding is. I will say this race is definitely going to be entertaining.
Assuming we don't have any more yellows. I don't know if we even can have more yellows. I just watched Logan just about floor it into the car of Liam just there as he was trying to keep the car slower.
Now, Hunter still is P5, so no jumping of anyone on pit road. Now, I don't know how much tires make a difference, but I feel like they have to make a difference, though. Like, I mean... Oh, man. Jake.
It's kind of amazing to me that Scarborough is actually still in this race.
He's on lap 87.
Compared to 97. He's 10 laps down, but he's still just kind of existing.
85 on 95, so that's something.
I guess if anybody rage quits following a catastrophic failure on this last restart, he'll pick up a top 10.
Yeah, just right out there. For now, there is such a big gap between like, okay, so 6th I would imagine is 3 or 4 down, and then 8th to 10th is probably like 8 down or something like that, or 7 down, and then Scarborough's 10. So it's really just between this top 5, but I mean, it could be really entertaining. Yeah, I think there's no one's gonna be letting anyone by from here on out.
I would. They'd be kind of stupid if they do. If I may be brutally honest.
Yeah. Now, yeah. So fuel shouldn't be a problem. I think we're coming to 5 to go. But I don't know if you can burn 3 liters in a lap, every lap. But that's kind of where Hunter's at. I think he's at 15.
I think it's probably about 2.5, so he is actually cutting it surprisingly close. He might have been like the only driver that I think might have calculated his fuel number when he previously pit.
Yeah, they're close. I think. Oh no, I thought. Okay, so Kyler just put extra fuel in it. We're going to start again.
And we are green for the final time. Travis has spun the wheels. That is a painful crash.
I think that. No, that's heartbreaking for him. We're
That's
going side by side, Kyler and AJ.
Kind of look for a second there.
Oh, there's contact!
They're banging. They're hitting.
And we seem to be letting off here, so we're gonna try to get back going. I would assume so after that horrible crash from Travis. I guess just trying to gas it up just got loose, and he's there.
I think that has to be a wave off. I don't think they can go around again. I think they're letting cars take a lap back for some reason. I'm not really sure.
So we will, if we don't get going this lap, we can get going next time. Which I think we're at 96 right now. We're at 96, so then 97 we'll be restarting with either 4 or 3 to go. It'll get pretty interesting. That was crazy. Travis, from the leading position on the caution on the restart, just burned the tires and then turned right back onto the field, like onto the rest of the field, and it almost got really interesting.
I saw the alternate universe where he spun back right into AJ and caused a huge crash.
I did too.
He managed to keep his catastrophic failure to himself there, though. So.
Yeah, turning back was really dangerous. So then, luckily, AJ didn't hit him because if that happened, that would have been. I think all of the runners probably could have gotten involved there. Luckily, not only one of them. Really, really hard probably for Travis to think about, just having the lead and then just throwing it away on the restart, not even losing the spot to anyone but himself. Now, we do have commentator's curse, but do we have a commenter's curse? Because Mr. Chad Thornquist,
Chad is cursed. That's just the point blank truth.
And he was like, I want Travis to win, and obviously we see how that went. So,
Travis wins the Darwin Award. I'm gonna give him that one. Anything else?
Can he make it to the pits from here, though? I mean, really struggling with car. You said I mean, I don't know if he has a suspension issue. Probably, if he's going this slow and doing the crab walk.
He's doing the crab walk.
I think next time is probably the time we go green, and that will be with 3 to go. We'll be restarting.
I don't think Travis is really going fast enough here, as Jake at some point retired the car.
I think I'm really surprised Jake did that, because he probably... Oh no, he couldn't have. It was too far away to get Travis. But Travis could lose his top 5, because if he can't even make it back, all the people behind him have to do is a finish, and that could mean Liam or Fabian end up getting in the top 5. Now, I believe this would be our 4th or 5th restart from a caution we've seen.
Yeah, this is the 5th.
Oh man, AJ.
I think this is the 5th caution and 4th restart.
AJ trying to get those tires warm almost, or he did put it in the grass. So, we do see Kyler first, because I assume he got around AJ before that caution happened, or it was called. Now, Logan sees himself in P3, which I don't think he probably thought would happen coming into this race.
I don't think anybody thought that would happen.
Race. I believe not. But a really clean race from a okay starting position sees him possibly getting a top 3, maybe even 2nd, 1st, who knows. Probably coming to this restart here. I'll let you take over.
No, thank you, Stomach, for being real professional there. Excuse me. At least I did that before I had to start talking. The throat preservation liquid had its way with me there for a moment. Anyway. Travis still doing like 30 in the grass in the back straightaway. I don't think we have any choice but to send it to green here, so...
Hopefully it just stays out of the way.
And we are indeed green again. Kyler has just stormed away from AJ on that restart.
No spinners on the start, coming at 3 to go.
This time we've all survived, crucially.
Now, I would imagine at this point, Hunter is definitely good on fuel. Oh no, that's a wing!
Logan has made a small amount of contact with AJ and has... Well, he's... his own punishment fit his own crime there, so...
Yeah,
because AJ's rear wing is still... AJ's rear wing is still intact, so that's kind of the important detail there.
Yeah. Logan, obviously not going to bring home a top 3 here, most likely.
Most likely 4th.
Let's see what can happen here between these top 3. I think we see a battle between 2... do we say rivals? I would believe so.
Depends on which ones you're referring to.
AJ and Kyler.
Oh, yeah, that's more than rivalry. There's like a... I don't even know if there's a word for what this is.
Okay, 2 to go. This top 3 is broken away, obviously, from this pack. Let's see if we can get something really interesting here.
Even Hunter's kind of lost the front 2 as well. Unless there's a crash, I don't think he's going to be competing for this one either as we head out of turn 4 to start the final lap of the Indianapolis 250. The slipstream seems to be doing utterly nothing for AJ Knickel as we head towards turn 1.
He's pulling here near the end. Going down in a 4th. He's probably going to really push it here. Hopefully gets a good
he's getting
exit.
a pretty good run. This is going to be really a death match through turns 3 and 4, I think, because AJ might sneak his way
AJ
there.
Go for it. He doesn't. Oh no, he gets loose. Oh no, and that gives Kyler, if he can manage his final corner, the win.
Yeah, he's managed. I literally said it too. But I think that was my underdog pick. Kyler Boggs is going to win the Indianapolis 250. And
Kyler wins with AJ 2nd and
Hunter 3rd place. Suddenly now we have like 1,000 viewers out of literally nowhere to catch 4 turns.
Everybody wanted to see the end. Now,
still 4th place
wasn't one that I saw winning, but he did a really good race. Held off pretty well. AJ was pushing too hard, got loose, and he just stayed strong to the end.
Top 4th place for Logan Cool, and apparently Fidel Fabian has stolen a top 5, according to this result.
Now we have Liam O'Neill P6, Travis P7 at the moment from what I can see. I'm worked backwards. Donald Stern P8, Jamie Wright P9, and then that leaves Connor Hannock with a P10.
Well, we had more than half the field finish, which is honestly more than I expected.
Now with lap times, that's kind of something I assumed that we would see, is there'd be a gap between the top three, with Logan's best lap time not being, or barely being over 40.5, Fabian's being a 40.5, and that's about it.
Now that'll conclude this broadcast of the Indianapolis 250, and it will not be an F1 broadcast on Saturday because that is endurance, so the next broadcast that I'm aware of is in a week and a half from now. It'll be the, I think it's French Grand Prix?
Russian.
Oh. Oops. Same flag, different arrangement.
But yeah, we'll see you then for our Tier 2 and AF1 racing.